up again? This is going to be the first episode of a new series that I'm going to call The Journey Within. Hashtag The Journey Within. I thought it'd be fitting because I'm going to be like talking about like stuff that affects me, things I went through in the past, just different experiences that I've had on this journey called life. And I want it to be sort of an open forum where you guys even share similar experience that you're going through right now or that you had in the past that kind of relates to the topic for each episode. So this is the first episode. It's the journey within, guys. How all of the experience that we have affect us on the inside. Mentally, physically, spiritually. First, I'm going to talk about why I decided to, become vegetarian, pescatarian, Mark and I. And then also the second half is going to kind of be like a health update, like what's going on with my body right now, health-wise. Let's start with the beginning, guys. I grew up on a diet of, I'm not saying my parents didn't do a good job, but we had a lot of junk food growing up, like a lot of junk food, like candy. I remember we could get candy for like a penny. We would my dad used to keep this like jar of change. We would go in there and grab all these pennies and then go to like the penny store. I think there was some kind of penny cart or penny candy store, and we would just rack up on candy. Now, surprisingly, I didn't have any cavities as a child, thank goodness. But I do remember eating a lot of candy. I remember eating a lot of bad stuff. Even growing up, when I was a teenager, I just remember thinking all right, you eat when you eat because you're hungry. You don't actually eat for any other reason other than to put something in your stomach. Even thinking back to elementary school, middle school, high school, I just remember for lunch sometimes I might get pretzels with cheese. We used to have pretzels and cheese, or I would get Doritos. Some kind of food that I would consider to be junk food now that I'm so much wiser. But, and I remember also the one thing that I used to eat the most, on my break, when I used to work at Party City, I would get some cheddar potato chips, sour cream and cheddar, something like that, and a soda, and a brownie. And that would be my lunch because, obviously in my head I'm thinking okay, this is a good lunch. As long as I'm putting something in my stomach feels full, I'm good. So that's the kind of mentality I pretty much had. When I got to college, I actually was exposed to better eating just because on campus, there's so much to choose from. You get your little meal card, and then you really get a whole range of things that you can eat. So I was eating really good in college. Surprisingly, I probably weighed 5 pounds more than I weigh now, but I didn't really gain that much weight. But I used to eat, hoagies, half a chicken, just regular typical food. I stayed away from anything that looked weird. Eggplant seemed weird to me, guacamole seemed weird to me because my food palette was so narrow that I was I can't eat that, that's green, or I can't eat that, why is that black, with the eggplant. So I met Mark in college. We were friends for 3 years, and after Mark and I got together, we started exploring different documentaries, and we learned so much about what we were putting into our bodies and the different effects it can have on your body, from depression, mood swings, just overall your energy levels. And I was like, wow, this is so interesting. Now, I have to admit, the first thing we did was and I felt bad for the animals because I'm that kind of person. I'm oh, animals, all those animals dying so cruelly, not even in a humane way. I was I can't take this. So we all of a sudden just jumped into going vegan. Now, what I learned is when you want to make a big diet change like vegan or anything, pescatarian, or just something that's you cutting out a lot of what you normally would eat, you need to, one, know what you're going to replace your meals with. So if you're not going to be eating this, then you're going to be eating this. We didn't do that. we were starving. We went vegetarian, vegan. We went vegan. That's even like more strict than vegetarian. And all I know is I just remember being hungry, y'all. That's all I remember. Like, I just remember being hungry. It's like hungry. And, oh man, we couldn't do that. So we actually ended up adding turkey and chicken and dairy back into our diet. Cause you know, it was so sudden. It was like, well, we don't know what to eat. So yeah, that was that. So we started eating that we kept eating turkey and chicken for about another year. And then I think we saw another documentary. We were like, all right, let's do this again. This time, let's just go vegetarian. We'll still eat fish. And that's pretty much the diet that we still have now. And first thing I noticed after cutting out turkey, chicken, just meats, and then dairy, number one, I went to the bathroom a lot more frequently, which was a good thing, you know? As we started going to the bathroom more regularly, which was great, because I think you're supposed to go pretty regularly. Mark's skin, guys. Mark had bad acne when we first met, and his skin just cleared right up, guys. So obviously diet can also affect your skin. For me, my skin was pretty clear anyway, but I can't say I noticed a difference in my skin. But yeah, let me think. All the benefits. Yeah, we felt lighter. We felt like less weighed down. It felt good. And I think overall we had more energy. Now here's the thing that we also had to learn. So when you go vegetarian or vegan, sometimes you might wonder, like, you see some vegans and vegetarians that maybe they don't look as healthy. It's probably because you can actually be vegetarian and still have a horrible diet. I learned that too, just recently, because there's so many like meat substitutes, dairy substitutes, cheese substitutes. And see, this is the thing. When you go vegetarian, you kind of craving what you used to eat. So if you could get a substitute that tastes just as good, you're like, yes. But a lot of times that's actually not a good thing, because it's not good for you. It's still not good. It's super processed. They're doing a lot to that stuff to make it taste the way that it tastes. I mean, listen, when we went and got the substitutes, we got them things every week, sometimes incorporating those into our diets every day. And also desserts, you know, you still got the cookies, you got the ice cream, because they got almond milk ice cream, coconut ice cream. So there's a lot of ways to be vegetarian and still have a horrible diet. Because number one, I learned that we needed to make sure that we're getting the nutrients, which wasn't even our prime focus when we went vegetarian. It was more so, you know, the animals and pretty much the animals. So we didn't even think about like, oh, well, because we weren't concerned about nutrition, like making sure we're getting the nutrients that we need even when we were not vegetarian. So going vegetarian, that didn't change for us until just recently, actually. I'm like, okay, some days, y'all, I would be eating like the veggie chicken patties like every day. And, you know, they're high in soy and all kinds of stuff. But I think the most detrimental thing, for me at least, was most likely the soy. I know that soy, it has like phytoestrogens, and it can kind of mess around with your hormone level. And then if your hormones are out of balance, that can cause a lot of things, but it could also cause you to have irregular periods, and it could cause weird periods, abnormal periods, longer periods. So I just recently cut out soy, and guess what? I cut out soy, guys, and I was going even more frequently than I normally would go. So apparently it seems like, and this is obvious, this is kind of obvious, if you cut out all things that are not processed, you're going to be going a lot more regularly. So I cut out soy, and this is mainly because of an experience I had recently where I had an extended period. Like, my period lasted for about 7 days, and then it started back up again 2 days later, but like heavy, like flooding, like a lot of blood coming out. And for a second I was kind of concerned, like, am I just bleeding, or is this menstruation? It was another period, and that's kind of weird. It was like an extended period. So I look into it, And this is kind of getting into the health update that I was telling you guys about. I looked into it. Apparently, other women out there are experiencing this kind of stuff too. Like extended periods for like 4 months and up. I'm like, you have a period, a nonstop period for that long? Oh my gosh. But across those forums, I found out that drinking apple cider vinegar and water 4 times a day, like a little bit of apple cider vinegar in your water, actually stops the bleeding. So you guys know I had to jump right on that because first I was scared. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to go to the doctor. Something's not right. But I was like, well, in the meantime, since you know you got to make an appointment and stuff, or you could go in emergency, but it wasn't that. I didn't feel like it was life-threatening, but I started doing the apple cider vinegar because we already had some. So within 2 days, it slowed down drastically. And then within 4 days, the second period stopped. So I was like, oh my gosh, what was that about? But after that, guys, I was still extremely bloated, like painful bloating. So much so that like my leg was hurting. I know it was just strange. It was so strange because I didn't know what was going on. But I knew it had to be something to do with the diet, you know, some kind of inflammation. If your body has an intolerance to certain things, it'll cause inflammation and then you'll be feeling all kinds of discomfort and pain. So I was like, I'm a healthy young lady. So I knew it, like I know I wouldn't just all of a sudden have some kind of disease or something unless it was something that I was doing, something I was putting in my body. So that made me cut out soy. And then just recently, guys, I decided to cut out gluten, which, woo, it's not easy, y'all. Gluten, you gotta think, gluten is all the breads, except for gluten-free bread, pastries, cakes, desserts. I was in Starbucks the other day and I was like, oh, I just want to get one of those scones. Mark's like, baby, you said you wasn't going to do gluten. I'm like, let's just leave. But yes, guys, so I just recently cut out gluten, guys, because I looked into gluten and apparently gluten's not that great for you either. Because the breads that, and the grains and the wheat that our grandparents were eating back in their day isn't the same stuff, you know? So I'm like, oh, really? Guys, people will give up meat and dairy before they give up bread, bagels, pasta, and all the other stuff. So I was like, oh man, I gotta get, am I really gonna give up? Guys, I really had to think, like, am I really gonna give up gluten? And I decided that I was gonna give up gluten because after doing my research and realizing that if you have a gluten intolerance, you're gonna be experiencing some things. And guys, there's also been a link to gluten intolerance and lupus. And probably who knows how many other diseases. I was like, wow. So guys, what I'm doing now is an elimination diet. So I'm eliminating gluten from my diet for about 2-3 weeks just to see if I feel overall, you know, better. And I actually do already. So I'm like, really? So I'm like, because like on the one hand, you really don't want it to be gluten because you're like, I kind of like all the bread. I like how the regular bread tastes. I don't know about this gluten-free bread. And honestly, when I used to work at Whole Foods, I felt bad for the gluten-free people. I'm like, dang it, that's all they got to eat. Is this weird, hard, frozen bread? Horrible. And now, yes, that's what I'm going to get from the store now. But yes, guys, so that is where we are now. Overall, I just feel better. My mood feels better. I've been having more days where my mood, I feel great, mood-wise. And I'm actually happy because now I feel like I'm eating with nutrition in mind. So we've been eating soups. We've been cutting up raw carrots and celeries and all kinds of greens and vegetables and putting them in our soups. Potatoes, we still eat potatoes and kale and pasta. There's gluten-free pasta and oh my gosh, guys, my current obsession is curry. I've been currying everything. Like, I love Thai food, and whenever I go to a Thai place, I always get like curry vegetables. So I was like, oh, guys, I thought it was like rocket science to make my own curry sauce. I did it the other day. It was so easy, guys. It was just coconut milk and curry. And I was so happy, guys, because I'm not gonna lie, I love curry. I love curry. So Mark's probably like, you gonna curry everything, every meal? I gotta put a little curry in there. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm just gonna cut down on curry. But yes, guys, that's my latest obsession. I just had pasta noodles with like a veggie pasta with curry for lunch. It was so good, y'all. Curry. But yes, guys, overall, I'd say that I am feeling awesome on just making sure that, number one, when you go vegetarian, if you want to go vegetarian, if you're thinking about it, you're going to have to still have fulfilling meals that are nutritious. So you want to get your greens. You want to get all the good stuff. You don't want to be like, oh, let me go on this diet and now I'm starving. Because that's exactly how it was in the beginning. But now that we kind of got our meals down, like, there's a lot of stuff that we can still eat. You just got to make sure that, when you're eating this stuff, it's still fulfilling and it's still like a lot. You don't want to feel like your meals is struggling. So yes, guys, just wanted to share this with you all. Feel free to share your experience with being vegetarian or pescatarian, or if you still eat meat, what are some things that you're doing to make sure that you get the nutrients that you need? Any health tips, workout tips, anything you guys want to share in the comment section below. And yes, guys, look out for more of these videos. I'm going to be talking about a lot of different topics. And that is all. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.